all the good things that many people around the region are doing to advance clean school buses. I want to just mention a couple things. First, for those of you who did not make it to our happy hour yesterday, we had a great time. A lot of great networking going on, a lot of folks winning contracts and opportunities in Greater Washington Region Clean Cities. Is glad to just be a support system for so many people that are applying for and winning many of these grants. So we're really happy about that, and it's always refreshing to know that your efforts are making a difference. Our collective efforts are making a difference. So thank you for that, for all the folks who helped do that. I want to just say a quick hello. I see our former executive director, Ron Flowers, is on. Good to see you, Ron. Hope that all is well and that you're staying nice and busy as well, enjoying this hot weather in DC. I want to make a couple, two quick announcements. One, if you are not a member of GWR-CCC, we'd like for you to become a member today. We'll put that in the chat for you as well. The second thing that we'd like for you to do is on October 4th, we're having our annual conference. It will take place at Homewood Suites in Largo, Maryland. You can actually register today. And so we're looking for folks to start registering for that. We're going to have a Green Procurement Fair and Expo. We're going to have an exhibitor space. We're going to have an awards luncheon, display of clean energy vehicles from electric to propane to hydrogen to biodiesel. We'll have end with a nice happy hour. To be a lot of panels and discussions. A number of signature speakers will be participating in that. Sponsorship opportunities are available, right, Kim? You could be a sponsor, get on some panels, get some branding opportunities as well. The other thing I would mention is that we are also having a school supply drive. You can donate to our school supplies. You can either make a charitable contribution by PayPal or credit card, and you can mail some supplies to our office as well. We will be collecting school supplies up until around August 17th or 18th, because the events are on the 19th and 20th of August. So we're promoting a lot of good things, and we'd love for you all to help support our back to school efforts as we promote clean school buses. We got to make sure those kids have the supplies that they need so they can learn while they're in school. So without further ado, I want to introduce Michelle Howell and Elizabeth Hughes. I'm going to turn it over to Kim to get them started. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I have the pleasure of introducing Ms. Michelle Howell and also Ms. Elizabeth Hughes. I'm going to start with Michelle. Michelle manages accounts and partners for the K-12 sector at the Mobility House, which will be also known as TMH. She helps K-12 customers understand how charging and energy management can support rapid fleet electrification and emissions reductions, all at a lower cost than current related transportation expenses. Michelle has over a decade of experience in business development, project management, and partnership development in the renewable energy industry. Prior to joining TMH, Michelle was a partnership development manager at Booster Fuels, assisting fleets towards electrification and transitioning to renewable diesel. Michelle was the leading account executive for over 5 years at Solar City Tesla for PV and BESS, or battery energy storage solutions, for the K-12 and F500 verticals. Elizabeth is a sales engineer at the Mobility House. It's going to be TMH here and out. Elizabeth is focused on helping customers understand our products, unique advantages, and creating understanding regarding how they solve challenges. Prior to TMH, she worked at General Electric, including various positions with their power grid division, focusing on point of intersection between the commercial and technical realms. Let's welcome Michelle and Elizabeth. Michelle, take it away, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Yeah, we're really excited to be here. I may be covering a lot of information, so if we don't get to your question and answer, or your question in the Q&A session afterwards, just feel free to email us or call us so we can address all of your questions. So today, this is our agenda. I'm going to share briefly the elements of a fleet charging system, as we're all coming from a different place in our project phase. How many of you on this meeting right now, if you can either do a thumbs up or just, thumbs up, how many of you are in the middle of your electrification project? Great. And how many of you, real quick, with a thumbs up, have heard of charging as a service, or CaaS? If the thumbs up, great. Yeah. And how many of you are still not sure what CaaS, or charging as a service, is, by a show of a thumb? Great. So that's partly why we're having this meeting today, is to discuss with you what charging as a service is and why now is the time to look at it and understand charging as a service. I know there's been a lot of questions around it. So I'll be sharing also what a charge energy management system can do for school districts, and then how the charging as a service can bridge the funding gaps and significantly enhance your electrification project. Just a quick summary about the Mobility House. We are sharing insights with you today because the Mobility House is the most experienced fleet electric company in the world. We have the most experience managing the charging for fleets with our charging and energy management platform, ChargePilot, at over 1,200 depots today. And we have been working with schools across the country for over 5 years. We've also resold over 160,000 chargers, so we can sell chargers if that's helpful for your district as well. And we're the leader in vehicle to grid, or V2G, with over 10 projects worldwide. In our 13-year history, we have collected a large network of investors and partners such as ABB, Nissan, New Flyer, Schneider, Siemens, and more, as you can see here. So again, since we're at different levels of stages in our electrification work, I have one brief slide to show you that I mentioned to help you understand the elements of a fleet charging system. And for some of you, this may be a brief review. So a fleet EV charging system is designed to provide power to multiple electric vehicles simultaneously, ensuring that the entire fleet is ready for daily operations. There are several components, as you can see at the bottom there. There's 5 different components involved in a charging system that each play a crucial role in ensuring an efficient and reliable charging process for your fleet. So 1, you have your chargers. These are the physical devices that connect the electric vehicle to the power source and deliver the energy to the vehicle. 2, the energy supply. Having the right amount of energy for your vehicles and the duty cycle is crucial. Solar or externally sourced clean energy can help meet your greenhouse gas reduction goals. And oftentimes, you may have noticed there are site power limitations. If you haven't noticed that yet, in the beginning of your project, you may need a utility upgrade, and it may be mandatory. However, and this could delay your project significantly. However, with the right charge energy management, you can utilize automated load management, or ALM, so that we can use the power that you have on site now as you're transitioning into a larger electric fleet. 3 is charging and fueling management. And this is the efficient control and monitoring of charging stations that enable the optimization of the charging process for scheduling of sessions and reporting on energy consumption and costs. 4th is the vehicle and depot considerations. You want to be aware of different electric vehicle capabilities, such as the state of charge, limits, the driving range, and preconditioning options. You want to design depots to accommodate the charging needs of all vehicles in the fleet. And then 5, maintenance and operations. Proper upkeep and management of the charging infrastructure are essential, as you know. You want to address issues with cabling, conduct regular maintenance checks, and have a clear plan in place for addressing both your short-term and long-term goals as a fleet operation manager. So I'm going to jump into a couple of examples of projects that we've worked on, and to help provide a better understanding with an example of what charge energy management, how that helps the system as a software. This one is specifically with our model Charge Pilot, and then how charging as a service works. So we've developed at this project we've developed as a whole 10 bidirectional projects, and have, as I mentioned before, 6 years of vehicle to grid experience. And this particular project is underway in the Bronx in New York City. For this one, I mentioned before, automated load management, or ALM, is when you don't have enough ability to pull power from the grid. So they had power constraints, and we were able to utilize ALM for this site, which enabled NiceBus to be able to charge their buses upon delivery and not have to wait for the upgrades, which, as you may know, can take over a year or years in some cases. To date, this project was the largest order of Bluebird buses in history, with charging over 30 buses using Charge Pilot for their charge energy management. And in results are saving, as you can see here, over $1 million within the first 5 years. Modesto City Schools used the blueprint we created with Schneider Electric and the Center for Transportation and the Environment, or CTE, from our other project we did at Stockton USD. I want to stop right there and see if anyone has any questions, or if you want to enter them in the chat. Again, we have a longer Q&A at the end. Okay, so next onto Charge Pilot, or charging energy management software. So with a basic understanding of the components now of a fleet EV charging system, we'll move on and show you some results from utilizing a charge energy management platform, or Charge Pilot in this case, that will minimize and control your charging costs. This is really, again, the groundwork for how charging as a service was developed due to the predictability of operating costs that a charge energy management software provides. So in this simulation of adding charge energy management or Charge Pilot in this scenario from the Mobility House, this was for a school depot with 14 charging points. And you can see that the district was able to minimize their peak demand from 201 kilowatts down to below 70 kilowatts, which significantly reduced their demand charges and costs, saving thousands of dollars every year, which also translates to nearly 2/3 of a reduction in the peak load amounts and for nearly half the existing charging costs. And we can create this simulation for your unique charging arrangement and constraints. So we see the potential cost benefits of Charge Pilot, but it's important to also understand the system characteristics that enable this. So here you can see the system architecture and features. Having a local controller in site is crucial for managing charging. So the local controller you see here, the orange and gray part, it's about the size of my hand. And we provide a box that it sits in. It's about this wide, this tall, maybe a little taller. And then on the other dimension is like this. So it's just a little box that it all sits in. And as we know, Wi-Fi connectivity can be unreliable and lead to connectivity issues, which of course lead to charging issues. So a local controller stores data even when not connected to the cloud through Wi-Fi, and that ensures that charging operations are not interrupted. So when you lose connectivity, because we all know it happens, the controller is still operating with the algorithms that have been set to manage the charging within certain constraints. And then when you regain connectivity, whether it's after 5 seconds or an hour or a day, it will reconnect and provide you with the data. And the dashed line that you see here, it signifies the Ethernet cabling or fiber coding, which links the chargers to the controller and switch. So this charge energy management system is compatible with a wide range of chargers, including those with open charge point protocol, which prevents technology lock-in for you. If you want to use different chargers in the future, then they can be managed alongside your existing chargers. And if you don't like the charge energy management software that you procure with open charge point protocol, you're then able to use a different open standard system. So with Charge Pilot, you can access real-time insights about your charging stations through a user-friendly dashboard. And the controller is also fully compatible with microgrids. And to my knowledge, the Mobility House operates the only depot with a microgrid that interfaces with EV bus charging, which is in Montgomery County, Maryland. So with our comprehensive backend capabilities, you can optimize your energy usage and charging operations for maximum efficiency. So I know this is a lot of information so far. Any questions for now? If you want to raise your hand or put them in the chat, we can respond here too. I know, again, we have a Q&A at the end, but just want to make sure everyone's with me now. Great. So this is our Charge Pilot user interface. This allows you to monitor charging statuses from any device, which gives you solace to know what's happening in real time. So from years of experience, we found that restarting the charger involves the problem in 9 out of 10 cases, and this can be done remotely via the interface. This mitigates the nightmare scenarios where drivers find their vehicles not charged due to charger malfunctions. So with a charge energy management platform or Charge Pilot, you can monitor charging statuses from the comfort of your couch or office for a hassle-free charging experience. And now, I know that this time there's a lot of grants out there, so we're going to briefly touch on applying the EPA grants and rebates and other funding as well. So we all know that incentives are important when completing a charging infrastructure project. We can, at the Mobility House, use the EPA Clean School Bus Program as an example. So for the EPA grants or rebate that's coming later this year, you are easily able to apply those incentives to an electrification infrastructure project. You need to obtain a quote from us and then include the relevant information for the charge energy management in your purchase order. And then for the grants, we can help, or rebate, we can help you structure your narrative and improve your chances of winning by assisting with your charging implementation plan. So this is where charging as a service comes in. As we've seen, funding does not always fully cover the cost of buses and charging infrastructure, which is part of which is due to increasing pricing for the EV buses, some to the chargers. So charging as a service not only offers financing for the remaining balance, but it also provides a turnkey solution designed with charge energy management resiliency at its core. So now we'll go into how Charge Pilot is our technological foundation for CAS. Our unique turnkey CAS model offers affordability with an attractive pricing structure that can be customized as a predictable and simple price per mile or per month, whatever you prefer. And charging as a service includes design, installation, management, monitoring, and is adaptable as you may want to expand. So with this comprehensive solution that provides significant savings as well as catering to your specific needs, it ensures a hassle-free charging experience with much less liability to the transportation department and the school district. With charging as a service, you are guaranteed reliable charging with, and you pay a simple price per mile, as I mentioned, which is typically less than what you're currently paying to fuel up instead of the upfront balance that you may need to put up as your school district to fill in that gap from the funding. So you can electrify your school bus fleet now, and it doesn't have to be complicated with long stories of how your journey is going with your electrification projects. You're also enabled for expansions and able to buy out the infrastructure. So there have been many misconceptions about charging as a service. So we're going to address these next. So probably the most common misconception I hear is charging as a service isn't compatible with grants. So many grants can be applied to charging as a service solutions, making them even more affordable with lower fees, as mentioned in the earlier slide about applying rebates. We also hear that charging as a service isn't expandable, or charging as a service solution providers, can't adapt to my changing needs for expansions. The opposite is actually true, that charging as a service, as a solution provides, and the providers are your partner, and they design a solution that can grow and evolve with your fleet size and technological needs. Sometimes we also hear people express concerns like CAS doesn't include vehicles or depots. While some providers may not include these components, others can provide vehicle financing and can provide dedicated charging depots from scratch. A common misconception we often hear is that charging as a service has no effect on fleet operations, that it only helps with installation. As we discussed, the opposite is true, that CAS simplifies and streamlines the operations and management of your EV charging infrastructure. Many fleet operators believe they should wait to look into a charging as a service solution until I know all of my electrification plans. But it's better to explore CAS options early in the planning process. And this is why we're discussing it with you now, as this can help you make more informed decisions about your electrification plans. And finally, this is probably the most common misconception about charging as a service. CAS is the same from everyone, right? You've heard that. Different providers actually offer different features, capabilities, and pricing structures. So I'm going to explain with you the leading providers that deliver customized solutions that are flexible and future-proof, what to look for in a CAS provider. So a top-tier CAS provider offers a range of features and benefits that set them apart from the competition. By delivering customized solutions that are flexible and future-proof, these providers ensure a seamless and successful EV charging experience for your fleet. So there are 4 key features of leading CAS providers. 1, customized and validated design. So by conducting simulations, leading providers can validate that their designs support your fleet's daily schedule and duty cycle. They also develop customized designs based on your fleet's operational needs and depot layout, utilizing data-driven insights to optimize the charging infrastructure. 2, leading providers offer multiple pricing options to accommodate various fleet sizes, contract lengths, and buyout options. They also ensure transparency by including details of grants, rebates, or credits within any proposal or charging agreement. And then 3, top-tier CAS providers offer comprehensive services that include data-backed uptime guarantees. Advanced charging and energy management for charge energy management systems with automated load management capabilities, as well as experience in vehicle grid integration technologies. So they also provide a comprehensive support plan and training for the charging system to ensure long-term success and understanding, minimizing disruptions, and ensuring that the fleet remains operational at all times. And then 4th, finally, the best CAS providers design solutions that can be easily expanded or adapted as your fleet needs evolve, ensuring that you are prepared for the future. Now that you know what makes leading providers stand out, you also may want to keep an eye out for CAS provider red flags. So there are 4 red flags that stick out for us that we've seen. 1 is a cookie cutter system design approach. You may want to avoid providers that take one size fits all approach to charging infrastructure and design, as this may not cater to your fleet's specific requirements. 2 is the limited expandability. You may want to steer clear of providers whose solutions cannot be easily expanded or adapted to accommodate your fleet's future needs. 3, basic or no charge energy management system. You want to be cautious of providers who don't offer a comprehensive charge energy management system or rely on low-level management solutions, as this may limit your ability to optimize charging processes. And then 4, no buyout option. Consider whether providers offer buyout options, as this can provide greater flexibility for your fleet in the long run if your needs or physical operating location changes. So choosing a top-tier CAS provider with the mentioned features and benefits, avoiding the identified red flags, can help ensure a successful installation and operation of electric vehicle charging infrastructure for your fleet. We have successfully completed projects involving EV charging and charging and energy management systems for over 1,000 fleets, showcasing our extensive experience and expertise in the field. We ensure charging system performance by providing continuous monitoring, real-time data analysis, and proactive maintenance, along with dedicated support to address any issues. We've verified the feasibility of our CAS design for your fleet through a comprehensive analysis of your specific needs, detailed simulations, and by leveraging our extensive experience and successfully implementing similar projects for other fleets using CAS. So their CAS solution includes an end-to-end service such as planning, implementation, operation of the charging infrastructure, and comprehensive charging and energy management systems, flexible pricing options, customized and validated design, support for vehicle to grid and other V2X technologies, ongoing support, and a strong network of strategic partnerships to ensure a successful transition to electric fleets. Now, to see the numbers of how this has affected different projects. So this is an example of a school bus fleet utilizing CAS that is phasing into 92 electric buses over the next 7 years. So this same project that I just showed you would have cost them $1.4 million, and we saved them 28% on fueling cost. So with our comprehensive solutions, you can easily bridge the gap and bring your project to fruition. So as you can see here, now with charging as a solution, it costs 47 cents per mile for the costs, and their current fueling cost per mile with their diesel fleet was 65 cents. And that's it. So we also have, as mentioned before, Elizabeth Hughes, a sales engineer at the Mobility House, who can also answer some of your more technical questions now during our Q&A.
Well, I want to thank you, Michelle, for the good information that you have provided. If you could, we do have a couple questions here. First, I want to recognize Kiba Baldwin. Congratulations on your new role as the head of transportation for Prince George's County Schools. Congratulations, especially all the busy things that are going on, and glad to see that you're here. Kiba wrote that, so this software will monitor based on performance, so it may not need to fully charge to 100%. Do you know any local school districts using CAS?
I can take the first one. The Mobility Houses system is able to take in a lot of dynamic site changing variables. and therefore not have to always charge the vehicles up to 100%. I am not aware as much about the fleets in the greater Washington area, so I will leave that to your team.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that yet as well. I know that there's a desire among some school districts to get there, but I don't know if any that have gotten there yet. Sean Wilson wrote, do you install a separate meter with a new utility service on each site?
So the meters are generally installed by the utility, so not us installing it. However, we will sometimes install an additional meter if there is secondary load that we need to take on site. For example, if your charging is on the same interconnection as your school's, normal supply of electricity.
And also, I know you asked if any local school districts are using CAS. Just wanted to mention to you, sorry, I just shook my computer. We do have other customers that are using this system, as you may know. But yeah, we're not sure if any school districts in your area are utilizing CAS. But it is an option that is being used right now.
You know of any public or private entities that are using it in our area right now?
Elizabeth, do you know, or Sam is also here. Do you remember any other commercial transits that are using or about to use CAS in that area?
Not off the top of my head. We'll have to follow up. We'll send something after this call. I don't want to, try to go off of all of the fleets in the country off of memory.
No problem, no problem. Let me see if we have any other questions. All right, hearing none. Do you all have any final comments?
Oh, someone was asking about expanding on Montgomery County. Elizabeth, you may know more about that project, so I'll let you answer that one.
Sure. The Montgomery County, Maryland project is one of the more I'd say technically advanced charging sites in the country right now, where there is a combination of solutions being used on site. So there is a solar canopy. I believe there's also backup generation and possibly battery energy storage. And there is a partnership between the Mobility House and Schneider Electric with two various controllers on site that are overall managing the entire microgrid and charging setup, with the Mobility House's Charge Pilot system being used to control and smartly control the electric vehicle charging loads via Modbus.
Right, excellent. All right.
I have a question for the attendees. Was this helpful? If you can do a thumbs up, was this helpful for you to understand a little more about charging as a service? Did this answer your questions as what charging as a service is, how it differs? If you could just do a thumbs up if this was helpful in terms of getting a better grasp or understanding of charging as a service. I'd appreciate that. Or if there's more questions, we'd love to hear that so we can address those.
And I think we'll have, this is being recorded, and I believe it's being broadcast on our platforms as well. So people can go right back to Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter to rewatch the video as well. So I want to just make a couple quick announcements as well. If you are not a member of GWR-CCC, we love for you to become a member today. And I just put that in the chat as well. And if you need to renew your membership, it's a great time to do that as well. We will have a souvenir journal for our conference as well. So for all of you looking for branding on your business, on things like this as well, at our conference coming up. Great way to promote that. For some of the regional folks that are doing different things, want some showcase some of the great work that you're doing, that'll be great. I want to invite Kiva to bring one of those electric school buses out. They'll probably be on the road during that school time, but we were looking to have some electric school buses out there for you all to look at on display as well from across the country. I will also mention we're also looking for sponsors for the conference, so it's not too late to get some branding out there. We'd love to see Mobility House be a sponsor for the conference as well. I see good Vanessa out there who's on the move. Saw her yesterday as well, doing some great work in the industry. So without further, I want to thank, as always, our team from GWR CCC for helping to put this on today. And hopefully Mobility House should get some of our local suppliers and consultants that can help you do some of the work you're trying to do in the region. We are big proponents of supplier diversity and equity. I see a number of our members that are in this space, and we'd love to see how they can connect with you to do some work in the region as well. So without further ado, I want to thank our speakers for today. Hopefully we'll see them soon around, and we will be releasing next week a list of suppliers and vendors that can help you as you electrify your fleet. We will be rolling that out next Friday. So look out for that. We'll be promoting a number of the vendors who are members. They will only be members, so that we will be promoting that can provide technical support, project management, construction, all the different forms of support to help you electrify your fleet, EVSEs, OEMs, you name it. So without further ado, thank you all. You'll have a great weekend. I'll let you reclaim the rest of your day, and we'll see you at our next event in 2 weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Antoine. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
And donate some of those school supplies. We need your help. Bye-bye.